So for my topic, I chose to do culture versus gender. I compared women in culture and women in and different professions. A room of one's own. So we'll go ahead and switch. Okay, so I chose to do profession versus culture. Wolf expresses a lot of frustration. She was not allowed to go to school at a young age, and a lot of men were allowed to. So in result of this, she created a imaginary person known as Judith. This is someone she saw herself as, very creative and ambitious. Kramer expressed cultural injustices. She was a Mexican-American woman who was mentally ill and a very unprivileged person. And she struggled with societal controls and involving her culture. And then Wolf's major theme was societal differences between women and men. So a room of one's own shows the history of written literature by women. And she was wanting to get equal conditions for both women and men. So a quote from her is, "It is unusual for women to have money of their own or to be able to devote themselves to a career." What she means by that is that women were caregivers. They were not allowed to have professions, jobs, because they were taking care of the household and their children, and that was known as their sole purpose in that time. Now, obviously, it's a little different, but men were the breadwinners. They held the professions, and they made the big decisions for the women. So Women on the Edge of Time was another was what Kramer focused on, and this shows the struggle between society and the individuals by showing the present culture. This is where Connie came in, which I had previously talked about, who was pretty much invisible to people. She didn't have much said to her, and she's significant because a lot of people feel this way, and they feel overwhelmed by higher authoritative figures. Today's world, everything is pretty much based on women or men and who can do what, which is pretty sad in my opinion. Wolf presents Judith's ending, which is a suicide, and she compares this to society and present culture by showing how women are not given the same opportunities as men are, and how their works are sometimes not taken as seriously as men's were. So another quote from her was, "Perhaps if I lay bare the ideas, the prejudices that lie behind the statements will find that they will some bearing upon women and upon fiction." She's expressing that men are not held to the same notions as women, so they're not held to the same standards, they're given more opportunities, things like that. In conclusion, Wolf and Piercy are both influential women who had to overcome injustices in the world based on their sex and culture. Now they both continue to bring awareness and through their writings influence the world. And I hope you enjoyed my presentation.